guys, and welcome to Flock Talk. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to train your bird to play dead. What you're going to need for this tutorial is some treats, a flat surface, preferably something that your bird can easily grip onto, and you're going to be needing a bridge, so either just the word good or a clicker. There's 5 major steps in this tutorial. The first one is getting your bird to put his foot on your finger, the second is tilting him, the third is getting his shoulder to contact the ground, the fourth is getting his back to touch the ground, and then the fifth is phasing out your cue. Okay, so starting off, I skipped through the first couple sessions. I think I only had 2 prior to starting this video, in which I was just getting ZB to hand me her foot. So how you would do that is basically present your hand to the bird, ask them to step up, and reward as soon as their foot touches your hand, and just keep going until they'll hold on. And then gradually, you'll slowly tip them over and reward each step of the way. So I cut those out because they were very repetitive and very boring bits of footage, which I think you guys can figure out on your own. So we're moving into step 4 of the process, which is getting their back to touch the ground. So what you can see here is I'm very slowly tipping her body and very gently just touching her foot when we reach completely onto our backs, just to get her to let go. I'm not prying her foot off of me, I'm gently touching it to let her know that she can let go of my hand. And really make sure you're not prying her off. If they're holding on tightly, just ease off, because that's them telling you that they're not confident enough, they're not ready for the next step yet. So really keep an eye on their body language and make sure you're paying attention to what's happening here. And just make sure you're focused on what they're trying to tell you. So for session 2, we're doing pretty much the same thing, just a lot of repetition, but we're going to try and get her to let go of her foot just a little bit earlier, so right before her back contacts the ground. So what's happening is right when there's just a little bit of her foot left over, I would lightly touch her foot with my finger and tell her to let go. But as you can see, she's already caught on to that and she instantly lets go herself because she's confident and comfortable with being on her back. And so we're just trying to get this concept, we're easing it back a bit so she'll gradually release earlier in the steps. So on to the third session. What we did here was pretty much the same thing. We're just easing off a bit more, getting her more comfortable, releasing her foot earlier on in the early stages. So that way, when we're tipping her, she will be more willing to let go earlier on until she can instantly flip herself back over. So I'm going to jump ahead a bit and we're going to jump all the way to session 4. And what's happening here is you can see my hand has eased back quite a bit and she's twisting and letting herself roll over. And this is a main key thing. Your bird has to be turning its own body weight. You can't be pushing it over anymore. So what I've been doing is slowly easing my hand off the entire process until she's comfortable and starting to anticipate what's going to happen. And when they start doing that and you can feel their body weight shifting, that's when you know that they're ready to move on because they're starting to understand the concept and reacting the way they should be in an understandable way. So basically what you're seeing is she's at 90 degrees and I stop moving my hand and let her twist and manipulate her body the rest of the way. On to session 5. So on session 5 here, we're doing the same thing, but I'm just easing off just a little bit more so she has to pull her body up to 90 degrees before flipping over. And we're just doing this, lots of repetition, and what you'll notice is I've implemented a different hand signal now. Instead of just my hand flipping her over, I'm now using my fist in a flipping motion to indicate that she should flip over onto her back. And I'll do that a couple times in front of her to capture her attention and make sure she's looking at that. And so that way, when comes time to phase out my other cue, she'll see the other one and know what's going to happen. On to session 6. So what's happening here is pretty much the same thing, but I'm keeping my hand pretty flat. It's almost completely down on the table. So now she is tipping her entire body over, but you'll notice that she's holding on to my hand the entire time until she's comfortable, and that's okay. We want them to be comfortable and secure and confident when they're flipping over, because otherwise they just won't do it. They'll be too scared. So I'm just keeping my hand really still. I'm giving her that second hand signal to know to flip over, and then letting her decide when to let go. And so in the other stages, your bird might just let go of its foot and not flip all the way. You still reward for that because they still did what's right. You have to use lots of operant conditioning and really make sure that you pinpoint when they're aiming towards the desired target. So if they just let go, you give them a point. If they let go and tip, give them a point. If they flip all the way over, give them a point. And so forth. approaching session 7 here. What's happening is now my hand is completely flat on the ground, I'm not moving my finger at all, and I'm cueing her. And what you'll notice is I'm actually starting with my hand in front of her, and she has to make the decision to put her foot on my hand or not to. And this is me starting to phase out my cue now. She completely understands to roll over onto her back and do the entire playing dead action. And so what you'll notice she does is she starts to put her foot on my closed fist when I start to phase out my finger. And that's okay because she's still tipping her own body. She's still doing the action herself. And then gradually I move my fist farther and farther away in cue, and every time she picks up her foot and starts to tilt, I give her a treat until she's comfortable enough to flip herself over. Now on to session 8. So session 8 is pretty much the final session. I've phased out my cue completely, I keep my fist out of the question, and the entire process is cued by just me flipping my hand. And during the beginning of the session, it took her a little while to get used to it before she completely flipped herself, but she catches right on, and just lots of repetition and lots of continuing to do that is really what's going to make this complete. And on to session 9. So this is the last and final session that we have, and this is her completely understanding the concept, and what we've done here is not clicking or bridging until she's laid down for a set amount of time. So what I do is if she's normally there for half a second, I don't reward her unless she stays there for a second and a bit, and then a second and a half, and then 2 seconds. And so I just reward later and later during the flipping process, so that way she stays flat on her back just for a little bit longer, and then you end up with the finished process. That is pretty much the entire process on how to teach your bird to play dead. Please let me know if this was easy to understand or if there's changes I can make to make it better. You know, just put a comment down below and let me know so I can make these better and more understandable for you guys to have a better relationship with your bird and be able to teach them all sorts of cool things. If you want to see more videos like this video so I know to make more, and I will very gladly do so. Thank you so much for joining me here on Flock Talk, and I will see you all next time. Bye!